Hey guys, welcome back to the Piston Show. Today is June the 19th and we are just 2 days away from the official introduction of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. I'm about to drive it today, but let me start off this video by just telling you why I'm here. Well, Chery Malaysia has actually partnered with KBS and they're actually incentivizing Malaysian athletes who are going for the Paris Games, the Olympic Games next month. So how are they incentivizing them? Well, check this out. If any athlete brings back a gold medal, Chery Malaysia is going to give them a Tigo 8 Pro. Now this is of course their flagship. If they bring back a silver medal, they're getting a Tigo 7 Pro, which is the point of this video. I'll get to that shortly. But if they bring back a bronze medal, they're going to be taking home a Chery Omoda E5. Full credit to Chery Malaysia for actually incentivizing our local athletes in such a way. I know what you're thinking. Keep away all your bad taste jokes and let's just focus on this video. So in just 2 days time, Chery Malaysia is going to be introducing the price of the Tigo 7 Pro, but however they have already teased that earlier this year and have actually mentioned that it's going to be roughly priced about the 130,000 ringgit region. We cannot confirm that as yet and you'll have to wait just 2 more days. In fact, if you're already watching this video, we probably already know the price to this car and we will include that price down in the description box below, or you can visit www.piston.my for more information regarding the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. So for those of you who have not yet seen the car or are seeing this for the first time, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is roughly about the size of the Proton X70. That's how it is when you look at it in person. But if you explore the spec sheets will tell you a very different story, because according to the spec sheets, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is actually bigger than the Proton X70 when it comes to the dimensions. However, when you're looking at it in person, it does somewhat kind of look bigger, but that is always subjective. That is probably just a play on visuals and such. Anyway, it's a good looking car, there's no doubt about it. And the thing about Chery is they somehow seem to have nailed the design language of all its cars. I really like this LED light strip that just stretches across the width of the car, gives it a very Lexus-ish design. And in terms of storage space, I shouldn't have pressed the button twice. In terms of storage space, well, you're getting roughly about 480 liters of storage space with the seats that are collapsible, of course, and you get a tonneau cover. This is really important so people don't actually get to see whatever you're keeping inside here. And you also get a full-size spare tire. Important, very important. Now, as far as design goes, it does not have a bad angle, but design is always very subjective. Now, the front lights are LED, you get this diamond encrusted grille as well, and I think these two light up and are part of the daytime running lights. Sorry, the daytime running lights are actually at the bottom over here. These don't light up. Anyway, now we'll jump inside the car and later, in about an hour's time, I'll be taking it for a first impression drive. Hey guys, what are some of the things that you consider when choosing a petrol brand? For me, I make sure that the petrol can keep my engine clean and also give me better mileage. I'm sure everybody thinks about this when choosing a particular brand. With BH Petrol's Infinity RON 95 Euro 4M, you get precisely that. It has special German additives that reduces the amount of deposits that build up in your engine over the long term, keeping it clean. It also has improved friction modifiers that reduces the amount of friction that your engine has to go through. ultimately giving you better mileage and making BH Petrol's Infinity RON 95 Euro 4M the right choice. Stepping inside, well, it's typical Chery. If you've seen the Tigo 8 Pro, I think you'll find this to be quite a familiar place. The seats obviously look damn good. They're really nice, bolstering is nice, soft and supple, and I think they're ventilated as well. I need to double check that, but I don't have the key right now, so I'll check that later when I get to drive. Check out this texture over here. This is obviously very Mercedes-Benz inspired. The audio system is by Sony. I think there's an 8-speaker Sony sound system over here, and it's not real leather in here. I read somewhere that it's actually faux leather, and this carbon fiber trimming is actually not real as well. And you get some very Mercedes-Benz like features in here, design features, but that's not a bad thing. You get this massive 24.6 inch screen over here, but it's actually two screens. This is 12.3 over here. Let me see if I can turn this on. I can't. So this is 12.3 and this is also 12.3, very Mercedes-Benz like as well, and it's actually curved. Very cool. So it feels very premium in here. It feels expensive. You get this full panoramic roof, and just feels very nice. You get a 50-watt wireless charge pad over here, Type A, Type C USB port, and this gigantic storage space. Oh, this is ventilated as well. This is cooled actually, so you can actually you know, have your drinks cooled and such. And besides that, I got nothing to complain about the interior. It's just a very nice place to be. It's very familiar. I mean, I've seen it's, if you've seen the Tigo 8 Pro, as I've already said, you probably find this place to be quite familiar as well. And the good thing is, feels very expensive. Feels very nice, in fact. Sitting space, knee space, well, as you can see, well, if you're somewhat on the 6 feet plus side, you might find this to be a little bit cramped, but not bad. Let's go check out the back seats and we'll see how that feels like. Nice, very nice. Big, spacious, comfortable, big windows, plenty of light, brilliant for those that are slightly claustrophobic, and just seems like a very nice place to be. You only get a single Type A USB port though, so that's not a really good thing. And so that means plenty of fighting, or you can find one of those kits where you can, one USB port expands into two, but that's just going to lower your wattage. So besides that, very nice place to be. Now I look forward to driving this car. Coming soon. I'll be right back. Alright guys, finally behind the wheel of the Tigo 7 Pro. Just a quick first impression. I really like the refinement of the car. Suspension setting is quite nice, I would say, almost brilliant, I would say. Tire noise, especially on the highways, it's quite evident, but I guess that depends on the surface of the tarmac. Right now, at about 90 kilometers per hour, I can talk to you without actually raising my voice too much, so I would say that's nice. The essential information: 1.6 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine making 197 PS, 219 Newton meters of torque, which is transferred to the front wheels through a 7-speed DCT gearbox. And then besides that, 0 to 100 seen off in slightly over 8 seconds, top speed 205 kilometers per hour. So not exactly explosive, but typical of an SUV of this segment. The interior, well, if you've driven the Tigo 8 Pro, this feels very familiar. In fact, the layouts, the fonts, the software, as I've said earlier, It feels very Mercedes-Benz-like also, but then again, it's something that I've seen with the Tigo 8 Pro before this. I like the way the car drives. I like the way this chunky steering wheel feels in my hands. However, if you followed my review of the Tigo 8 Pro, I had some choice words for the way the accelerator feels, and this has that same feel as well. It's very edgy, and sometimes it catches you off guard. Like you just want just a slight input of throttle, but it'll just give you massive explosion of power. With the Tigo 8 Pro, I found that the way around that was to drive it in eco mode. However, this is just a short test drive, and right now I'm in normal. Sport will do what sports is meant to do. It just give you the full beans, and eco just turns things down just a little bit. Now let's just
economic mode entered.
Let's just see how it feels like. Besides that, I do think that the brakes feel a little bit spongy as well, but after all, this is a car that, you know, has over 4,000 kilometers on it. It's been doing a lot of test drives this morning. A lot of members of the Malaysian motoring media have been having their way with it, so I'll just give it some slack lah, give it the benefit of doubt. But the way the car feels, the way the refinement in here, does it have double panel glass? Yes, it does have double panel glass, which means that the interior will remain quiet and serene inside here, which in my books is very important. So you see, this is the beauty of double panel glass. Like, you hardly hear the sound of the world outside. There's a motorbike over there, didn't hear it. There's a bunch of diesel engines, just very little of the world outside. This is something that I really like. Kawasaki versus 1000 has a very loud exhaust, but heard very little of it. So that's the beauty of the Tigo 7 Pro. The interior is brilliantly refined, and that gives it a very premium, very expensive feel inside here, which is something that for me is very important. This is something that you usually get in very expensive cars, and if Chery Malaysia is to be believed, somewhere between the 130 to 140,000 ringgit region for the Tigo 7 Pro, it's going to make life very difficult for the Proton X70. So the way around it, I can confirm, the way around the edgy accelerator feel is the same as it was in the Tigo 8 Pro, to drive it in eco mode. And the good thing about driving it in eco mode is that the electronic steering actually responds to it by getting lighter. So the steering actually feels a lot lighter right now, which feels good. But of course, if you're on the highway, you're doing some very illegal speeds, then you will want a little bit more control over your car. So if you put it in sport, the steering gets heavier. That's the way these drive modes work, which, by the way, the Tigo 7 Pro has 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal and Sport. And the way the brake feels, well, you'll just get used to it, I guess. So I got no complaints over here. And as I've already said, I really like the refinement levels in the car. It's just such a nice place to be. It's so quiet. And I was told that Chery actually calls the double layer glass, they call it mute glass, which basically keeps the noises and harshness of the world outside away from your ear to give you a very premium feeling and sounding interior. Very nice place to be. That's the first impression of the way the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro drives like. So that's it then, guys. First impression of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. And if you're watching this on the 21st of June, we probably already know the price of the Tigo 7 Pro, which I will put in the description box below. Besides that, is it a worthy buy? Definitely, it's a very nice car. I was also in the car with somebody from Chery Malaysia talking to me about spare parts and such. And as you already know, Chery Malaysia is here to stay despite everything that has happened for the brand, to the brand. Chery Malaysia is going to persevere. They are not going to let a couple of bad episodes to bring them down, and that's just the beauty of the car and of the brand. And however, having said that, I just got to end this video by saying that Proton is going to be introducing the facelifted X70 not too long from now, and I hear sometime in July, in fact. So if you're on the market for a new SUV somewhere around the size of the Proton X70 and the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, perhaps you might want to hold on to that purchase decision to actually check out whether the new facelifted Proton X70 is worth it or not, because I hear it's going to be pretty damn awesome. Anyway, thank you for watching. As usual, do consider subscribing.